Hello, and welcome to Havoc Wargaming, dedicated to bringing you the uncommon. For those of you who haven't met me, my name is Ron, and today we're going to be doing a box opening of Cursed Crate 1 by Blacksite Studios. So let's get started. Recently, Blacksite Studios, which had been doing new products for Don't Look Back nearly every month since the product was originally released, just over a year ago. Now with the addition of some new games that they're offering and with the promise of even more coming down the line through their Blacksite Studios backroom program, they've decided they can't support just one game that way. And they're going to start putting their products out for the Don't Look Back seasonally in this form of these Cursed Crates. Now, it's important to keep in mind why this Cursed Crate is going to be a box of different additions and enhancements that have been made for the game over a period of time. Shortly after the Cursed Crate's made available, they will then sell those things individually. And I say that because you may decide you don't want it all. Maybe you would rather just wait till the items come out individually and purchase them that way instead of buying everything together. So, as is usually the case now with their items, it's coming in this sort of black cardboard box. Easily opens up. It's very much like the original box for those of you who originally purchased Don't Look Back when it was first offered. It came in a box like this, but much larger. And so let's take a look and see what comes inside here. The first thing I've opened up is a new figure. See her there? Is she focusing in here? The Seer, I think she is. They don't like to do exclusives at Blacksite. So typically their exclusives are things like this. A sticker. They have a whole series of these. I think there's 6 of them or something now. This one says Death to Seth, and it's a knife. They like to do those as exclusives, but actual gain items are not exclusive. So the Seer, while she is only available right now in this box, she will eventually be released for normal consumption. And I guess with that in mind, I'll go straight to the Trilogy book right here. And that's because this is what she's for. Trilogies is a new idea in Don't Look Back, and it's designed to allow for linked plots, what many other war games would refer to as campaigns. The game in the past has stood on its own, where each plot was played on its own with the same characters, that are available to the game without any effect from one game or the other. The Trilogies allows you to extend the game into 3 connected plots, where the same killer will come back later and affect the same people. Now, the section on Pursuit talks about what happens when the plot fails or when it won, so it helps determine things that are going to happen in the next one. Return, same sort of thing. I guess it's a case of chasing or coming back. I'm not really sure. Yeah, it looks like you roll to see whether it is a return or a pursuit. That's the Seer right there. There's a sample of a campaign or linked game in here, and that's built around using the Seer, and that's what she's for. And as I say, like here's Visions 2, the second one. There's 3 scenarios. They're built in to use the same killer. It's much like their first rule book. It's stapled together, not really very long, but glossy paper, lots of art in it, little posters of the different episodes. Okay, yes, each of the following games will either be a pursuit or a return. A pursuit takes place on the same day or a few hours of the previous plot, not giving characters much time. It does refer to how much longer the second game is after the first, and therefore how much recovery or prepare time they have. The next thing that comes that I'm going to pull out of this box is the Don't Look Back Environments and Twists of Fate expansion deck. The things in this expansion set are pretty exciting to me. I like the idea of the connected play, I think. We'll see what we think. It is kind of nice to not have to worry about that right now. It's going to really change, I think, gameplay, because right now it's not unusual to not worry about losing people in a game as long as you can meet the requirements of the scenario. And sometimes that's only 1 person off the table, sometimes it's 3. You can see how if you've been careless and let people get killed, that may be a problem down the line. All right, so we're going to take a look at these cards here. These are for adding more flavor to the game. The first thing I'm seeing are boons. The first one here is Chosen One. This character starts the game with +1 luck, +1 combat and awareness. Hardy, the character falls victim at 11 injuries instead of 10. So these are modifiers. The boons, oh, there's a mixture of boons and curses, I'm saying. But these are various things that change your character from the original stat. Oh, and Final Girl has been put in here. I can get rid of that card. Final Girl requires, well, I'll read it to you. It's a curse. Can only be given to a female, and it requires that the character becomes the final girl. She has to become the final survivor. She gets +4 combat, +4 fright, and all of their attacks do +2 injuries when the character is the last character on the table. If she falls victim or is not on the table when the plot ends, the plot is automatically failed. Okay, there's also conditions. A liar cannot use the encourage action. Lasting injury, frightened. Those, I wonder if those have to do with the trilogy. All right, then there's atmosphere cards. Here, for instance, is Blood Moon. The atmosphere card, the killer's attack adds +2 to their critical range. So Blood Moon, Chilly Night, Cult Presence, Disorienting, Echoes, Eerie Quiet, Full Moon, Howls, Screams, Supernatural, Twilight. These are just the various things that can change. There's atmosphere, there's terrain ones, which change what the terrains are. They mention ancient ruins or a binding ring. They can be applied to a whole table, or they can apply to regions on the table. Like here's mud. You can make the whole board a mud area, or you can designate certain places on the table as muddy, or here's a overgrown sacred ground. That'd be perfect. A Indian graveyard or something. Just to add a little bit of differences and give more effect on changing up your game a little. Twist of Fate cards. To create a more unique trilogy experience, you will find these characters manage to survive plots. They'll have opportunity to gain boons and curses. So the boons and curses are being called Twist of Fate cards. The rules for the cards are in trilogy play. Environmental cards. To create a truly unique setting for your plot, you may want to use optional cards. And there's some ideas given here on how to use them. But again, it looks like it's pretty much up to you. So that is the Cursed Crate. But we're going to cover Mama Luna's as well. And this is Mama Luna's. Like many of their other expansions, it comes in a VHS package. Artwork on it says, "Just one more slice, Mama Luna's Pizza." One of the add-ons, because people kept asking for it, is they created a supporting character who is a pizza boy. And he's been very popular. He's now regularly available. Originally, he was a free STL. In fact, the free STL is still out there and available, but he's now one of the characters that comes in the supporting characters package. And they've started to build this whole lore around his boss, Mama Luna. Mama Luna is an Italian woman. The family's been in Northwood for a long time. And she's your typically grandmotherly type, except considered to be a werewolf. She's a good werewolf. I had mixed feelings over whether or not to buy this product. To me, the idea of having a character that can become a werewolf who fights alongside of you, I'm not sure that really fits the genre as I see it of what 80s slasher films are, which is what I view the game as being. Though having said that, the game is actually being extended beyond those limited starts. That's certainly how it was being advertised when it was first pushed, but I would argue even one of the first of the expansions led it that way with the Attack of the Greys, is that this game has really been stretched out to cover a whole lot of different horror. So I am limiting myself, I think, more than I need to in the way I think of the game. For instance, if you use some of the figures that they make for their horror line now, that not specific to this game, but they're made useful for this game. They have mummies, they have Frankenstein, they have some of those conventional creatures. I imagine there'll eventually be the creature of the Black Lagoon that I think would be a good addition in that sort of general monster category, which I would consider a werewolf. Werewolves really are more monster than slasher. And sure enough, in the 80s, there were movies where there were characters. I think immediately of American Werewolf in London. There are movies at the time where one of the characters is a werewolf and is not particularly evil, so it's not, I guess, that outlandish. Here's already a additional card to the atmosphere deck. This is corrupted ground. Characters fall victim to at 1 less terror than normal. There's also 2 item cards. This is a weapon and a supply card. They did this for the Creatures from the Deep. I can't remember that one's called off now, but the High Seas game a while back came with some additions to the cards too. So there's Mama Luna's Pizza, which is supplies. 1 long action, heals all characters within 3 inches, 1 wound and 1 terror. And Cold Iron, a knife which does 1 injury normally. 2 damage can't be reduced. And when targeting keywords Lycanthrope, Demon, or Ancient, it deals D5 damage instead. That could be useful. These cards, if you haven't looked into them, are really helpful. In the old days, of course, the charts are still there. But the cards are kind of convenient to remind you of what the items are, what they do, and you can even just use the cards to pull the items instead of rolling the way you used to do. There's, of course, the character card for Mama Luna herself. This card gives her stat, terror, gives her abilities here, which includes the change. At the start of each odd turn, roll a d10, and if the result is equal to or less than the current turn number, flip Mama Luna's card. If she has 5 or more damage and does not fall victim, flip her card. When Mama Luna flips, remove all wounds and terror from her. Skills, she has Enhanced Senses and Natural Born Leader. She may give up her activation to have a character within 4 inches immediately take a quick and long action. So that's cool. The back of the card has her werewolf version on it. Mama Luna may only take move, melee attack, and melee snapshot actions. Any character without the Lycanthrope keyword activating within 4 inches of her gains terror. That's a little awkward. She scares the people around her. She heals 1 wound and 1 terror at the start of each of her activations, so she has a regenerative ability. And as a long action, she may spend 1 luck to roll a d20, subtracting 1 for each injury on Mama Luna. On a result of 10, she flips back to being Mama Luna. There is a new Visage card that is Lycanthrope. That's going to apply to this package. Comes with 2 werewolves. We'll get to that in a moment. Then there's, of course, the character plot card. I notice there's only 1 plot that comes with it. That is the Hunt. The Hunt, so it's a scenario in the forest. Characters must find a way out of the woods. Once the way out has been found, at least 2 characters have to make it into contact with the way out before end of 12. So you're being stalked by a werewolf and trying to get out of the... A little disappointing that there's only 1. It's very common for these, but I think most of these have 2 scenarios that come with them, not just 1. Now, I kind of hinted at this a moment ago. It comes with 3 figures. This is following a new idea that they've done. They started it with the Demon package. They have a few packages now that come with a character and a villain that are specifically designed around each other, and this has followed that same principle. Typical resin figures that Black Site does, they're multi-part. Mama Luna, who looks like she's a single-part figure, and then there's 2 just gigantic werewolf figures, and that is Mama Luna, her change when she becomes a werewolf, and the other one is a Dark Circle werewolf, or one of the enemy. That's used as a killer, and that could be used as a killer with her or in a game without her at all, to provide, like I said, a werewolf scenario to the game. Lastly, tying in, if you're going to have Mama Luna, you're going to have her place of business. This is Mama Luna's Pizzeria, designed to fit in with the other downtown buildings that are done by Black Site Studio. That's a little problematic because a lot of them aren't actually in print right now, but I've been assured by Ben at Black Site Studios that they're working at correcting at that and getting those made both available again. It's designed to fit against them, or it can stand alone. And they've basically taken one of those buildings and they've added to it to make it specifically a pizzeria with the addition of the paper awnings. A little concerned about that. I think they're going to be, I haven't put it together, so I don't know how they're constructed or what may be under it. If it's paper over MDF, I'm not that'll be fine. But I fear that if it isn't, they may be weak. I could find that out and check it right now, but I don't really want to open this all up I'm probably going to do a video putting it together before much longer. So I will either do a video of me putting it together, or I'll just do a review of it once I put it together. I do use buildings like this for a number of different games. I play some 1970s detective games. I do gangster games which use buildings like this. Artwork of this building limits it, so it wouldn't work for the 20s or 30s stuff, but it's certainly usable for anything modern where those old buildings have been updated. This is a huge package. There's a lot of MDF in this package. Don't remember what it cost, but I think it was $20 or $30. Pretty good deal, I think, with that much pre-painted lumber in it. Looking forward to getting that built and getting that on the gaming table. Anyway, glad I invested in it. Look forward to seeing it used in the game, and I'll try to share that with you here on Cry Havoc Wargaming. If you have any questions regarding any of these products, go ahead and put them in the comments down below. Or if you have any of these products and would like to make comments regarding your opinion of them, we look for that in the comment down below as well. If you have any further ideas for content you'd like to see us bring to you here on Cry Havoc Wargaming, the comments again are a great place to put that. If you've enjoyed this video and you found it at all worthwhile, if you found any use out of this video, please hit like. And if you'd like to continue to receive notifications for videos like this one that may help you determine how to better spend your money or your time in your tabletop wargaming hobby, then please hit subscribe and ring our notification bell. Until next time, cheers.